everyone! Alright. Almost fell out of the chair. That would be a bad way to start the stream. I don't want to fall out of the chair. Let's see who we have here. We got Pyrex and Obi. And I see a Porsche. And closed captioner's lying to me because it's running, so I don't know what that's about. It's salty. Indeed. Hello, Pyrex. I woke you up. Hey, in all fairness, the audio that Pretzel Rock gave us here was really bumping. So my goodness, yeah, that was kind of loud. Oh my word. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know what tonight's gonna hold. I actually don't necessarily know how long this exercise is going to last. I just briefly looked at it just so I could give the title something that was realistic. This is cryptography. Nothing supposedly terribly difficult. I'm not really good at cryptography, so this is going to be interesting. Oh! Well, I'm honored, Pyrex. Thank you. I am on the notifications. I also do not have too many people in the space of the notifies. That's how it is. We all do stuff and things. But yeah. Pyrex, on my own curiosity, what sound do you have set for my notification? Is there like a default sound? Because like I have so little push notifications turned on because I literally drowned in them. Just curious. But yeah, we're gonna do more 30 Days Lost in Space, and then depending on time, we may do something else. I don't know. I don't really know if I looked at this, and I'm like, this looks like it could be 5 minutes or 3 hours, and I don't know. So I purposely didn't try to do any of it just so that we can all experience it together. So with that out of the way, let me get this up and running here. Let's see here. I want that one. Hi, Adblock. Let's see here. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Okay, let me get this rocking and rolling here. I'm gonna pause the background music for a moment. And I need to mute that one. And then normally what I would do is just pick up and run with the exercise. But since this one seems to be a little bit unique, I'm gonna let the trainer video play its full length. Just so we can get a full idea of this, or at least most of it. I don't know. Let's jump into it. Day 17. All that jazz. Rough time. Very rough time. What is my hand doing? Okay. E. Oh my. We did a question mark?
Well, Explorer. Look at the fine mess we're in today.
Great.
You see, our control system decided to play hide and seek and is doing a rather commendable job, I must admit. To cut to the chase, it's locked down. And the key encrypted. Isn't that just splendid?
Neat.
Ugh. You thought navigating a foreign planet was challenging? Try cracking an encrypted key.
Yeah, that's what
You're
we're
not
gonna
just
do.
an explorer now. No.
We're maintenance.
You're a cryptographer. It's like being a detective, but with more numbers and less coffee.
No.
Don't you go frowning on me now.
But I
Remember,
wanna.
we've tackled worse.
Come on.
And this encrypted key is just
Terrible.
another riddle waiting to be solved. Think of it as a particularly vexing Sudoku puzzle. Except instead of being rewarded with self-satisfaction, you win control over a spaceship.
Great.
A fair trade-off, I'd say. So, what do you say?
Maybe I'd
Ready
rather
to
drown?
break some codes and take some names? I have faith in you, dear explorer.
I'm glad one of
It's
us
just
does.
a minor setback.
Sure.
A pesky pebble on our path back home.
I don't know, I feel like
Now,
that.
Let's get cracking, shall we?
Okay.
All right, Explorer. We'll be giving the hardware tinkering a breather and diving straight into the deep sea of code.
Okay.
Don your metaphorical goggles and prepare to embark on a numerical endeavor. Now,
All
before
right.
we dive into the murky waters of decryption, let's make sure we understand the basic concept that we're dealing with here. And that, my dear explorer, is encryption. Encryption is the art of turning information into a jumble of nonsense that only someone with the right key can unlock and understand. Let's put it under our analytical magnifying glass, shall we? Think of it like secret languages you might have come up with as a kid. Take the Caesar cipher, for instance, a type of substitution cipher. Each letter in your message is replaced by a letter with a fixed number of positions down the alphabet. So, with a shift of 1, A would be replaced by B, B would become C, and so on. This shift value is called the key. Encryption keys are everywhere in computer systems. The one you've used most is called public key encryption, which uses a pair of keys, a public key and a private one. If you've sent email to someone, you've used public key encryption. The public key is your email address, but your private key is your account password. Only you know that. Except for when
not
you share it with your
exactly,
friends so
but-
they can watch movies without paying for 2 accounts.
Fair.
So, what do you say? Let's dig in and see if we can crack this encryption. Well, that didn't seem as complex as I made it out to be.
I don't know.
Did I say that out loud?
Maybe.
Just play along and pretend I'm still puzzled for the sake of learning. Back to business.
I'm
Explorer.
puzzled for the sake of
Considering
learning.
that your spacecraft is of an older generation, it's likely that the
Great.
encryption used is not exactly the most advanced technology. I've got a hunch about the type of cipher used, so I've left you a clue. A clue so big it might as well be a neon sign.
Okay.
Be sure to check your mission resources. You'll find it immensely helpful. Once you manage to decode the secret message, input the deciphered code into the hero board and watch the magic unfold.
Okay.
If my calculations are correct, as they usually are, we should get our control access key printed out in no time. We're on the right track, my dear cosmic cognoscenti. Keep up the good work. For your benefit, let's turn to some instructional material that I've gathered cached on the computer. And yes, I've also added this to your mission resources for future reference. Truly, what would you do without me,
I'm
Explorer?
gonna let Alex talk here for a little bit because
Hello and welcome
I,
back to day 17.
I think I might
Whoa. Yeah, that code is messed up.
Not
That will
bad.
not compile at all. I can
No.
guarantee that.
sounds about right.
Well, looks like you found yourself a encrypted program. First, let's talk a little bit about encryption. Because obviously there are better encryption algorithms and there are slightly worse encryption algorithms.
Okay.
I'm taking a random guess here, and I'm going to say that this is probably a very beginner encryption algorithm. Now, there are a lot of different encryption algorithms.
That there are.
One in particular that I would like to show off today is the following. Here's one, a good example of a beginner encryption algorithm. A very good example. In fact, you should check the link and go to it.
Cool.
In case you didn't get my drift. Now, this is called a Caesar cipher. Caesar cipher works by doing the following. It is where it will take all of the text, for example, IF, like all these different characters, and it will just shift them based on a certain number. Whatever it shifts it by, for example, in this case 7, will be the following. It will be A will then go to H. You can also, for example, if you want to have just a shift by 1, A goes to B. Shift by 2, A goes to C. Shift by 3, A goes to D. And so on and so forth. And the reason I'm showing you this is because that means that there's a total of, well, as you can guess, I guess there's a bazillion that you can do. 26 is insecure. Sorry, I'm having too much fun. Let's go back to this site right here. Remember that there's a shift of up to 20, realistically 5, different ways that you can encode it. And the way it does that is it just takes whatever it is, shifts that value to whatever it is down the line. So in this case, this would be a shift of, I'm going to take a guess, 7. So it just decodes it by -7. So if it goes instead 7 to the right or 19 to the left, either one of those, it becomes a cryptic message. What you could do is to find out how yours is decoded, look at various types of ciphers. You don't really have to online, and just find out and look at places that you can decipher something. Remember, since this is an H, this is going to be a shift of 7. Again, if you go here, and I can see that A will go to H in a shift of 7, A will go to C in a shift of 2. For example, A will go to O in a shift of 14. So we know that if this wants to say a cryptic message, then to make this back to an A, we have a shift of 7. But just know that the code that you're going to decrypt also needs to have the numbers decrypted as well. So if you just click decrypt brute force, you might run into a validation issue. I'm going to have a feeling you will. Maybe because I made the course. Then, if you want to go down here, find the shift number, how many it is by. Then use the English alphabet and also shift the digits 0 through 9. Click decrypt. And you should get the message like this instead. That will change the number here to a 4. It will change the number here to an 8 and this one to a 3 because it shifts them all by 7 on each individual digit, not the number 150, then number 1, the number 5, and the number 0. If you are able to decode it correctly, you should hopefully start seeing things on your 7-segment display.
That's what we're
after
hoping
you
for.
hit upload. Make sure you write down those numbers for tomorrow, and I will see you then.
Okay.
Welcome to the Day 17 wiring example video.
The wiring's the same.
Today's video is going to be very brief. After all, we don't have any new wiring since Day 16.
Right.
In fact, all we have to do, we hope, is successfully run our decrypted sketch to obtain our security codes for the next day's project. So there's really nothing left for us to do except just go ahead, run the sketch, and write down the codes. So let's go ahead and do that. Sketch is loading. Code 1, code 2, code 3.
Well, that's funny.
All right. You didn't think we were actually going to show you the answer, did you?
Maybe.
That would be cheating.
No.
You're just going to have to figure it out on your own.
Shocking.
And we'll see you again on day 18.
I like that it didn't
least
show
I
that in
hope
the
we do.
instructional video.
And just like that, we've reached the end of day 17.
All
Mission
right.
accomplished.
Yeah, no. We haven't gotten there yet. You didn't see anything. It's fine. What is my hand doing? Where are you going? I had discovered that the hand tracking on this new sensor is way more sensitive than the previous one I had, which must simply mean that it was just dying for the longest time, and then it finally did. This one's got me doing the YMCA over here with my hands by my mouse. I just realized I forgot my my drink in the other room, so give me one moment while I go grab that. Okay, that's better. Yes. Oh. Tracker, hello, I'm over here. Come on. There we go. Yep, I'm back in frame. Thank you. Yeah, beauteous. Yeah, so that's gonna be exciting. Okay. So that doesn't really sound like it's too terribly difficult, but I don't know. I guess we'll see here. as it had stated, the wiring is the same as last time. So everything should be right where it was. We have 5 volts in ground hooked up to VCC and ground, which makes reasonable sense. And then we're using data pins 6 and 5 to control the clock and the data input from the display. Good news, my tea's not cold. Good. So let's see what we're working with here. So this is what we've got. And it's shifted including the numbers. So let's take a quick look. Explore the learning solution located on our GitHub for those having trouble. And that's the Cypher website, which I do have here. We are going to play with this. Caesar shifted ciphertext. So here is our tooltip. Ciphertext, unreadable, intelligible version of the message, already encrypted or encoded. Key, variable value, word or number. Often kept secret, altering the result of the encrypted decryption process. Brute force attacks decryption method, trying different parameters, keys, passwords, and so on in order to find the right ones. Okay. Well, we already know that we need to do the shift with the digits. That's a very important, as they very clearly noted that to us. We need to do that. So the cipher decoder is the top option, and then our manual decryption. It really sounds like we just have to shift until we get the right shift number. It does indicate here the numbers and letters, which if I switch this back, did it change that? It did not. Okay. I'm looking down here, by the way, right above the decrypted button to see what we're going to see here. So in theory, what should happen is I should just be able to take the entire exercise, which I normally don't do, and we're going to stick it right into our Caesar shifting website by removing what's in there and pasting in our example. So let's shift by 1 and click decrypt and see what that spits back. Gibberish. That doesn't look like much of anything. Okay. Oh. Oh, that's fun. It doesn't like the ad blocker. Alright, hang on. Fine, that's fine. It's fine with me. You know, I really would have thought that they would have given us something. Oh, wait a minute, that's the wrong box. I need to be up here. I clicked the wrong button. I want a decrypt message. Nope, that's no good. I suppose I don't even really need to scroll this. I just need to keep going until I find the right combination. Which is funny, because he says that if you use the brute force button, then it's just going to try a bunch of stuff. But, I mean, isn't that kind of what I'm doing? I feel like that's what I'm kind of doing. Oh! Oh! Okay. 96 days lost in space. Day 73. Well, that's definitely not right. Recorded the top secret sketch. I don't think that's quite right. Module connection pins. I did have it selected to do, yeah, digits too. I'm wondering if there's more than one option here where shift 7 might be close, but it's not exact. Because if you're just doing this in order like I'm doing, maybe that's not really the right thing, because it's definitely not day 73. It's day 17. So I'm shifted incorrectly slightly, at least with the numbers. Constant unassigned value data is that stuff. Oh yeah, something's definitely up here because if you look down here, this is still kind of gibberish. All right, let me grab some notes here. So it looks like there are 7 gives us the upper portion of the message. So I'm gonna write that down on my notepad and then put that off to the side, and we're just going to keep going to see if something else seems to be a bit of a better answer to this, because it realistically shouldn't take me terribly long if it's really just doing a basic shift. Because I'm gonna imagine that there isn't really too many combinations that are gonna actually potentially return something that's useful. Unless we need more than one shift. Yeah, that might be part of this. That upper portion of the message might need a shift, a cipher of 7, and then the lower portion may need. I wasn't scrolling when I was doing that. Yeah, hang on. I think they're being a little crafty here. I want to check the lower portion of the message here to see if any of this stuff ends up looking different. No, that all looks like garbage. Because they didn't quite allude to it potentially being more than one shift. Because if you did encrypt chunks of this with different shifts, that might potentially be part of the solution. Because 7 didn't look exactly like what we would need. I apologize, I'm going a little fast here if you're trying to look at the screen. All I'm doing is just quickly glancing at this to see if any of the stuff in this area is, well, legible. So you are going to see me kind of darting back and forth here while we're working through this. I think he said it's a total of 26 available combinations. So realistically speaking, even if some of this looks somewhat legible at a lower shift, or technically upper number, an upper shift, maybe. See, the idea of something like this, even though it's supposed to obscure the message, there's nothing preventing you from being able to brute force something like this. Like this I would not consider to be something that's secure enough that I would ever want to trust with something I genuinely wouldn't want someone to be able to easily decrypt. Being that, just like the creator of this course said, it's a beginner cipher. And that's just to kind of get your brain cells engaged into something that gets fairly complicated. With the portion of the sending emails, your email address is not a public key. Your email address is your email address. What happens though is that there are certificates that do go back and forth in a part of a key exchange, but that again gets kind of complicated in a hurry. And I don't want to talk gibberish because without the facts in front of me, that doesn't really produce anything really useful for the conversation. I can't imagine that it's just a shift of 7. The days were wrong at the top. And I really feel like the entire thing, unless the comments, no, because the comments were supposed to be shifted, right? Because the comments themselves were also gibberish looking. We're almost out of options to check here. Oh, okay. All right, so I was right. There's another shift here that does work. Shift 19. All right, so 19 gives us some of the upper comments. So looking right here, I can see that this says right here day 17, but then there's some gibberish after it here. Let's see what this gives us. This decoded sketch doesn't compile. Make sure you properly include number digits. Decode. If the numbers didn't get the decode, then this decoded sketch won't compile without error. Right. Notes from Alex. Just the include. Yep, the rest of this looks like garbage. So I be thinking that there's at least 2 shifts here in this, 7 and 19. So that's interesting. All right, well, I got that noted. Let's just quickly breeze through the last couple of options here. Because I'm imagining we're probably gonna have to use a combination of 2 different ciphers. Now, obviously, if you were trying to decode something like this, and there was a bunch more combinations, obviously you'd have to go a different route about doing this. But for the time being, I don't understand what you're doing here. I have my other hand off the screen. Yeah. No? That's getting a reflection off of something. Weird. Yeah, the cryptography looks like there's not going to be. I don't think there's going to be anything. I would be surprised if they put more than one shift inside of this, or more than 2. I mean, I feel like if you added a 3rd one, this would really be complicated. Be playing a serious case of puzzle reassembly. Which I still feel like I'm going to be doing a little bit of that here. Because I don't think 7 or 19 are the same distance from each other, would they be? You know what, I might have to check that. No, they couldn't be, because then they wouldn't equate it to 2 different ones that would look correct. Right, and then this is shift 26, which technically should be the last one. Which I'm actually curious. I'm going to put a different number in here, which it probably will accept, but it should technically cycle back around. So I'm going to throw this at it. Yeah, it seems to have done it. Which if we look at the shift by 27, B to A, C to B, D to C, so on and so forth. Okay. All right, so we're going to get what appears to be useful from the 7th shift. And then we're going to grab the stuff that doesn't look like gibberish from the 19th shift. And we're going to see what it looks like. Open up our IDE, and then we're gonna play a little bit of stick the pieces together. Okay, I'm not worried about uploading an empty sketch because none of the wires moved. So we're just going to make a new sketch, and then that's going to end up... I don't even have the board plugged in yet, so yeah, we're in good shape. I'm going to close that, and we're going to save this one as day. Just kind of hoping that would steal the name. No, you're going to make me do it? Alright, fine. Day-17. The nice thing is that when you do it, it makes the folder for you on its behalf. Funny enough, if the folder, this is something I learned just by doing a little bit of management here with these projects. If you make a new project, a new sketch, and then you don't put it into a folder with the same name, it'll actually tell you it won't run unless you put it into a folder with the same name. It must have something to do with the way that it compiles. It's a Firefox a little. Hello. Welcome in. I'm melting everybody's brain, mine included. We're doing some cryptography in this lovely space this evening. Okay. So for starters, I want to get that basic framework out of here. Because I'm going to be bringing over the code as a whole, and then we're going to kind of chop it up here and see. So right now, this is everything. There seems to be a pretty obvious cutoff here. I don't think they made this as hard as I was thinking they might make this out to be. But to be completely fair, I was never particularly good with cryptography. I'm decent at turning on security on stuff, but there's only so much I'm good at. So let's see where we're at here. So we can already see here where it says day 96, and that's not what we want, right? So I want to do the shift also to 19, decrypt. And then we got this, right? So this says that's the 30 days lost in space, and then this one's also a little jumbled up. So the first thing I'm going to do is tell this to verify. I know it's not going to verify, but I just want to see if there's a hard line where it doesn't verify. Alright, so it's not happy with this. Right, and then all these comments turned into mush. Look at that. 7 and then 19. Interesting, that was on line 58 of this. Which makes me think that at least... Yeah, see, I'm a little concerned though, because if I bring over the shift from 19 in its entirety, which I'm going to do here just to see what it does, I still think there was gibberish in this up into a point. So for a hot minute, we're going to do that. Then we can see this also looks like gibberish, at least at the bottom. So let's scoop back up here and see. Oh, that's what confused me. I forgot this was a part of the name of the exercise. This isn't cipher shifted, this portion up here, which concerned me. That was the name of the exercise. If we come back over to here, this must not be shifted. This must actually just be gibberish on the screen. That threw me. So we see here. Let's verify the sketch. Alright, so the sketch is a little pissy about line 79 and 82, but that definitely looks like some of this is still smush. Mush. If you're reading this, you've successfully decoded the top secret sketch. If you compile and upload this sketch to your hero with the same writing as on day 16, then you'll see 3 keys displayed over and over with a blank before the first one is displayed. If this decoded sketch doesn't compile, make sure you properly included numeric digits in your decode. If the numbers don't get decoded, then this decoded sketch won't compile without error, which we don't right now. We're very broken. So you can see that stuff's okay. What is that? They actually have an arrow in here? 19 to 17. I'm not necessarily sure. Because that's the 2 different deciphers that we have here. Well, shift 19 must be first, and then 7 must go below it at some point, I think. Let me do the day 7 decode again, or the shift 7 decode again, and pull that code, and I'm gonna piecemeal that at a certain position. I'm hoping it's gonna stand out a little bit better on where the problem comes in. Alright, no, we're not worried about that right now. I'm opening up this program called Notepad++ because it has line numbers. So that will allow us to compare this a little bit side by side without me having to open up a separate project. So we can see here that they include, going to put that one right there. Put that one down there. Day 17, learn more. There's some congratulations. And they include Arduino, the TM. Yeah, you can see the include is messed up on the 7 shift, which I have down here, and the 16 or the 19 shift is in the compiler by itself. Right, clock pin, the DIO pin. All right, let's scoot down to line 59 here and see if it starts to look legible. No, it looks messy. What about line 78? Line 78 and 79 definitely don't look correct. So there must in fact be an additional shift that's involved here, because the lower portion of this still looks like garbage. You see, I'm a little confused about the 19 and the 7 that's in the shift of this, because it shows a 19 and an arrow up to line 58, which I'll actually put the little dot there next to it so that could be easily seen. And then it shows a 7 from here down, which I would have thought on line 59. If I scroll back up here. No, I really feel like that would have been it. But the rest of it's kind of looks garbage shaped, which means I must not quite have it. There must be another shift for this lower portion that's not 19 or 7. I see an 18 here, which could potentially be shifted. Well, I think we're going to keep shifting it and looking specifically for this lower portion. So what we're going to do to make this a little easier, I'm going to grab... Oh, nope. I'm going to grab the message from line 59 to the bottom. And we're going to toy just with this until it looks like it's something usable. I think that's going to help us get to the bottom here. Because I definitely feel like this is going to require its own decode. Which is probably going to take a little more time. But that's okay. Alright, let's see here. So that don't look like nothing. This is kind of a bit of a unique little puzzle that we're working on here, though. It kind of makes me think like this is almost like a Rubik's Cube, but for computers. I'm also very poor at solving those too, so. Out of curiosity, is anyone in chat decent at decrypting Rubik's Cubes? Because let me tell you right now, those things are not easy. I used to have a friend in high school that was fantastically fast at decrypting those things. It's not a fever dream. Hi, Michael. I don't know, Michael. It kind of feels like a fever dream. Cryptography feels like a fever dream, my word. But yeah, I had a friend in high school that was so fast at solving them. They even had a special Rubik's Cube that they modified by adding, I want to say it was petroleum jelly inside of the mechanism so that they could solve it faster. Which just, it's kind of mind-boggling. Oh, okay, Obi. Yeah. Totally fair. They also make Rubik's Cubes of different... Oop. This is closer. This is 12. The day's wrong. Lost in Space 96. Okay, so this is definitely gobbledygooked multiple times. This is shifted a couple different times because this is actually another section of the code that looks like actual code, but then this little section down here is looking like junk. Okay, all right, so we just have to continue taking this in piecemeal, and I'll just start over and just grab the stuff that looks not broken. 30 seconds. That's crazy. How on earth do you solve one of those things so fast? I mean, I know that it's supposedly math and there's only a certain amount of combinations that you can do that make the thing come to a solution that's not ridiculous. You know, all the colors being where they're supposed to be and whatnot. But to me, it feels kind of crazy. Ooh. 12, 14, interesting. Oh, I think I copied that. Okay, I don't think that's supposed to be there. Over here, I mean. I think that's a boo-boo, actually, from me. I don't think this is supposed to be here. I think this actually got copied from... Is it outside of... Yes, it's outside of... Alright, I'm gonna make note that I think these have to be deleted, but I'm not gonna delete them until I have a bunch of code that looks like actual code. And then we'll delete them, because I don't think they're supposed to be there. I just realized something. If that says... Wait a minute. I only copied... Hmm. Hmm. And this was at a shift of 12. I don't get that though, because I thought I copied that from... Yeah, from here. Which, if I scoot this back up... Well, that's decrypted. I'm silly. I need to look at over here. And scoot this down. I don't know what my hand tracking is doing. I'll have to look at that after stream. It's wigging out on me here. Yeah, 29 WTRL. A cryptic message. Huh. Which, if you look at what I decrypted at the top here. Is it possible I copied this more than once? Yeah, I did. 110% did. I don't know how I managed to do that. Because there's only one block of comment. And then there's this obscurified code. I've got 2 blocks of comment in what I copied. So I definitely messed something up here. Because there's this block here. And then there's this block here. I think I know what I might have did. I must not have cleared this when I went to copy the other one, and I copied 2 copies of the code into this mess. So let's see if we can rectify that. Yep, I don't need that open. Oh, no, NVIDIA. Bad. Yeah, I really don't want to update my graphics card right now, thank you. Yeah, that's what we would have called a bad time. Interesting. Okay, I wonder if that's from... Alright, hang on. I'm going to grab this again. And then we're going to come over to here. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna put that in there. I'm gonna decrypt that. But with a shift of 7. Oh, let's put that back to 19. PK. I don't understand where that 18 PK is coming from. That's not what I'm copying here. It's like my clipboard's got a mind of its own. Copy. "57 lines. Okay. That's what I'm supposed to have. Refresh the page. I should reset all this. Use the shift on 19. I feel like I'm being dumb about this. I feel like whatever that is below it isn't actually correct. I think actually all I was supposed to copy is this stuff right here. I think it's the way the web page is displaying this as to what's confusing. Because it looks like a shift of 19 would put us to just there. So we're going to try it. I'm going to clear that. I'll remove the marker from line 1. I'm going to put that in there. We're going to do a quick verify, see if this functions at all. And it's happy with this. Okay, so if I scroll back through here now, we're going to see that we've got... That's right, that's right. It was pins 5 and 6, which is what we saw in the example. Brightness is 7. Okay, no, this looks fine. This, and it's 57 lines of code. That 100% was not doing something right on the web page. So, okay, let me get the hero board plugged in, and then we're going to see. We should hopefully get something on the display. I can't necessarily say I'm too surprised, because to be completely honest, that's what I would like to consider to be something that's a little cumbersome, if you will. All right. So this is still running the example code from last week, or from 2 weeks ago rather now. So I'm going to push our new code, and then we should see something that's reasonable. Hopefully something that's correct. I guess so, we'll see. Hey Dratron, come on in. Melting my brain. And everybody else who decided to come into this madness. Alright, I am clicking the upload button now, and upload. Uploading. Okay. Interesting. Okay, all right, cool. We got numbers, and they said we were going to get 3 of them. Let me write that down. We have 23, 353, 1688 in that order. And it says there's a brief pause in between them, so I'm going to make sure I wrote this down correctly. We've got 23, 353, and 1688. Okay, all right. I think we have something that looks something like the word of winning. Isn't that exciting? So to no surprise, that probably took me longer than it was supposed to, but we did come to a conclusion, which is kind of nice. So we have our numbers, Powerball numbers: 23, 353, 1688. So that is mighty fine. So let me see here now. It's one of those things, it's not bad. And turns out it was only one cipher shift that was required. It was not split up into 2 chunks. It was a cipher shift of 19 is the one shift we needed to make the entirety of the code visible to us, to which then we can compile it and then pull out our key. To which then for next time we are going to have those numbers. I'm going to take my sticky note and I'm going to tape it to the computer so I don't lose it. And then from there, we're going to be able to proceed into using that to get into whatever we do next. I'm not necessarily sure if it's going to be one of those things that we have to put those numbers into the code, or if we're going to maybe do something with the keypad, and then have to put them in. I don't know. We'll see. I'm purposely not going to look too hard at next week because I kind of want it to be a surprise for me too, which is all fun and exciting.